Hello, friends, and welcome to our giveaway live stream. We are joined by a new Wheel of Fortune fame.
One of those things.
It's not like the others.
Yes. This is Joe Slack, one of our moderators from Protospiel Online, and also just old guard, I guess, of Protospiel, part of Protospiel North, and originally met you, I think, at Protospiel, Michigan. So if you go to Protospiels, you might have seen, in that area of the country, you might have seen Joe there too. But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about, introduce yourself, just since you might be a new face for our viewers?
Sure, of course. So I'm Joe Slack. I've been designing games for about 10 years now. Left to do it full time about 6 years ago. So I'm a designer, publisher, author, course instructor, developer. I do everything in game design. Just love to help everybody else out in the community.
Yeah. And Joe will be running our wheel of names for this session. That's why you can see, like, not Joe's name, but the wheel, because he'll be coming and going with us. And coming when it's time to spin the wheel for this giveaway live stream. So that's what we're here to do today, is take all the entries from the May event and spin the wheel and give away some prizes. So the prizes that we'll be giving away to attendees will be 4 gift cards for Protospiel Online, and then also newly for this stream, we have a bundle of Panda manufacturing sample kits, or they call them toolkits.
Good stuff.
The whole prize is all 3 of these, and we'll be giving away 2 of those, and we're going to do that as the last spin. So it's the I'll probably talk about them a little bit more when we get to that spin, but we also have a unboxing that I did with somebody from Panda that we can refer you to if you want to see more details of what's inside. And then we, of course, always have our fearless co-host, Chris Michaud. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Always a pleasure to come and visit once every few months or so and talk to some amazing up-and-coming game designers and goof off on live internet television. And congratulations to this month's Harbinger of Prizes for helping us out. We really appreciate it, Joe.
Yes, thank you. So Chris will be with me the whole time, and Joe will be coming and going. So if you are joining us in chat, please just let us know, and we'll also be talking with you and bring you on. And then we'll have some live guests with us shortly, people who have attended Protospiel Online, and we'll talk about their experiences there. So I think that we're going to do the wheel of... I'm looking over at my schedule, the official schedule. We're going to do
check those notes.
Wads of Words first, and then a wheel of names before we get started with our first visitor. So I'll let you introduce, Chris, what Wads of Words is. That's going to be something that we're going to play with chat live, and whoever wins is going to win a sticker of their choice from our merch shop. Okay.
Ooh, love those stickers, and we love giving away prizes. Wads of Words is one of 7 different games in Mall Night Long, a virtual game show experience that you can hire for you and your friends and family. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show when we always talk about that. But this game is a word game that we're going to play right over the chat. So as you're filtering in, you see our video intro for Wads of Words. It's a bookstore where you can find just about any kind of title that you want. All of the books are meticulously organized. They're meticulously alphabetized. In fact, they are so alphabetized that not only are all the individual books in alphabetical order, all the words inside of the books are in alphabetical order as well. And that's what we'll be dealing with in this game. So the 3 of us are going to do one just as an example. So Heather, Joe, you can guess at this one. I'm going to show you a word that has been sorted into alphabetical order like this, and I'm going to give you a crossword-style clue as to what that word is. So if I were to say, they're a whole thing, what do you think this one would be?
Donuts.
Donuts is correct, because they've got a hole in them. That's how you do it. So that's how this is going to work. I'm going to go ahead and give you one of these clues, and then the first person in the chat to type in the correct answer will win that amazing prize. If everybody is stumped, and then we will start spelling the word out one letter at a time until somebody gets it. So now we're playing for real. Heather and Joe, silence from the audience. We got to give this one to our friends in the Twitch chat. Here comes your first word out of 3 for today. It is a 7-letter word. The clue is they hate getting blocked. They hate getting blocked. If you think you know the answer to that one, go ahead and type that right in the chat. They hate getting blocked. We'll give folks a moment to think about this one. And we'll give a little bit of a clue. The word begins with the letter W. They hate getting blocked. Writers is correct. Congratulations, Roll Plus Fun in the chat on winning our first amazing prize of the day. Well done. That's how we play Wads of Words, folks.
Very good. Very good. And I know Roll Plus Fun sounds so familiar. We got to get your name too, so we can send you the gift. You have to remind me. I forget what Roll Plus.
Otherwise, there's a whole unclaimed prize process, and it gets all.
Yep.
There's a lot of red tape. Hi, Brooks.
Okay.
Brooks is Roll Plus Fun. Congratulations to Brooks for winning that amazing prize.
All right.
So we'll do 2 more of those later in the show. It'll be fun.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna say goodbye to Joe and bring on our first guest, who I think is ready in the backstage.
This is a surprise to me. I don't even know who it is. I can't wait. Hello.
There you are.
Hi, Heather. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So you're joining us from Czech Republic, right?
Correct. Yeah, I live in Prague.
Okay. That is one of the places that I've been in Europe. It's a very pretty city. So.
Did you like it then?
Yes. Yeah. It was a very, very quick in and out sort of trip, but yeah. Spent some time in the square and everything. So that was it was someplace I wanted to go back to. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And tell me, I don't want to pronounce your last name wrong, so why don't you say out loud what your full name is for us?
Right. So my name is Anna Doležalová. It's Doležalová.
Okay.
But it's okay to just call me Anna.
Awesome. And I got to play test your game. It is Feast and Folly, right?
Yes, Feast and Folly.
And it was one of the games I would say I played that felt like I was playing an actual board game and not a prototype. You know, like we could play to the end. It's a complete experience. So that was great.
That's amazing to hear. Thank you. We've been working on the game for about 1.5 years now. So after the last Protospiel, I think we're finally reaching the finish line, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm really glad to hear from you that you also think that.
Yeah. Happy to have gotten to play it. And this is Joachim, who's also over there in Europe, and so closer to your time zone than I am. Yeah.
Well, we're always doing playtests, so if anybody wants to join at any point, feel free to let me know, and yeah, we can organize something.
Yeah, and one of the fun things about your game is that it's about medieval food, and so you're thinking about like highlighting the strange recipes from that era, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like we started the game initially just as a general game about cooking. We didn't quite settle on the medieval theme right away. We just thought about, filling a table with a bunch of meals, and we considered different approaches to it. And then we started with a sort of more fantasy medieval setting. And after one of the testers actually asked us about the authenticity of the recipes, we finally started looking into, making them actually authentic, and we started reading all those historical recipe books from various different European countries, and we settled on Italy, France, Britain, and Germany for the recipes that we ended up using. So yeah, there was a lot of research that went into picking those recipes, and a lot of reading of those historical recipes, which can be sometimes quite tricky to read because of how different the language was back then. There's just a lot of curiously spelled words, let's say.
Was there a particularly fun description of something that kind of stuck in your mind from some of those recipes?
Oh, there was a lot, honestly. I think what really stood out to me as absolutely crazy was how medieval people would tend to stuff things with other things and just keep stuffing everything. Sometimes you would get, a fish stuffed with another kind of meat like pork, or you would stuff a pigeon with something else, and it was quite crazy, especially when what they tended to do with the finished product, if it was a bird of any kind, especially those fancy ones like peacocks or pheasants as well, they would take off the skin with the feathers attached, and after they were done cooking the bird, they would just redress it to make it look as if it's still alive.
Wow.
Which, yeah, that was something I did not expect to
That
see.
sounds like an excellent board game, I gotta say. A year and a half in development, how much of that was digital versus in-person playtesting?
Right, so we try to kind of balance it a little bit, do in person as well as online, but because we don't really have as many playtesting groups here in person, we only really get to playtest with either people we know or when we go to conventions, in-person conventions. So a lot of our testing has been actually online, and yeah, Protospiel was our first our first place where we tested, which was, I think it was last year in May, and then we attended again this year in January, and now in May again.
Awesome. Do you have any stories from your experience with Protospiel Online, either just how it's gone for you in general, and other things like people you've met or games you've played that stand out to you?
Right, I think everyone's been really, really friendly in the Protospiel community, and since most of the people testing are also designers, I find that the feedback we get in Protospiel is usually the most in-depth and most relevant for us, since the people understand what we're going through in the designing process. They often have suggestions as well for what we could improve and how we could do it, which is absolutely amazing, and it's been really, really helpful for us. As for games I've liked, I think one of the first that I tried was Brewers of Cannstatt, which was about brewing beer in, I'm not sure which century it was, but in some kind of century Germany. And that was quite fun. I think there was still a lot of work to do on the game. I haven't played it since that first Protospiel when we attended, but I would love to play it again if the designer shows up again. As for the last Protospiel, I think the most fun game I played was Shovels and Shanties, where everyone's a pirate trying to secure treasure for themselves while also trying to steal it from other people. And I won, so definitely bonus points for that.
There you go. I got a chance to play that one as well. It was in the first couple of hours of Protospiel. And I agree with you. It's a very, very fun game.
That's that one's from Tanner Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name. So how about you, Heather? Did you play anything fun this time?
Oh, I played about 20 games this time. And I mean, yeah, yours is one that I remember off the top of my head that I played. Tanner's game, I've played that, but I had already played it quite recently when Protospiel happened, so I didn't play it during Protospiel, but I know what you're talking about. And it's a nice low form factor, quick take that-y game. That's fun. I don't know. I don't have my bingo card handy. That's where I keep my list of everything that I've played. I've got all the prizes and stuff handy instead right now. But also somebody who's coming on a little later comes first to mind, also Frango Marengo. We're going to be talking to them a little bit later on, so I maybe won't talk too much about the game so that I can save it for then. But yeah, I mean, I just, all the games that I play at Protospiel, I learn a lot about what everybody needs to do to be able to build games, and kind of what we can. I've had a lot of talks about what we could do to help people see into what's possible with digital prototypes. And I hear a lot of people who kind of are first coming in just going, oh, a huge part of this experience is just being amazed at what other people have built and realizing what's possible for me potentially too, right? As a player and maker of games, right?
Yeah, it has definitely influenced us as well when making the digital prototype. We first started with Tabletopia, which was a lot more complex than we would have liked. And after seeing so many people using ScreenTop, and I think there was also a discount code for ScreenTop as one of the goodies in the grab bag. After that, we've moved on to ScreenTop, and it's a lot better for the prototype process. I think Tabletopia is more suitable for finished games or near finished games, since it's more focused on the visual aspects, I would say.
Yeah, and the 3D experience, right?
Well, yeah.
That is, I think, a lot more time consuming than the 2D experience. I can understand why some games kind of need the 3D to understand what's going on, but when it's cards, you don't really. And it's a lot faster to teach your players.
I think what we also really like about ScreenTop was that since we are two designers working on Feast and Folly, we can work at the same time. We can work together and each be working on a different part of what we're adding there, which saves us a lot of time. With Tabletopia, it was just purely whoever created the game could edit it. And so everything had to be done by one person, whereas in ScreenTop, it's a lot more comfortable in the sense that I can be working on our meal cards and my sister can be working on the boards. And saves us a lot of time, definitely.
Are you both in Prague?
Yeah, we are both in Prague. We meet every week at least once, sometimes twice, to work on the board game and also play board games. And
this is the first one either of you have made?
Yeah, this is the first one we are working on. But like I said, we wanted to start with something simple. It evolved into this, what it is now. It's more of a medium complexity, I would say, game. But we also have a lot of ideas on the back burner for later when we're done with Feast and Folly.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about if there's one you feel comfortable sharing, something that's been you've been thinking about as far as your next design.
We're still kind of deciding what the next one is going to be, also based on what's coming out nowadays, because some of the ideas we've had, we suddenly saw that somebody released something similar, which was quite shocking. We thought we had this like original idea, and then you see somebody release the exact same thing, and it's like, oh, well, we'll have to rethink that then. So I'm not really going to share one, sorry.
No problem. I had to ask.
Kind of deciding what the next one's going to be.
But you are thinking about some things, it sounds like.
Yeah, so we have quite a few.
That's exciting. Yeah, it's fun to make it a family affair. That's nice to hear that you have a sister that you like doing that together with, you know?
Well, we originally started just playing games, and then it somehow evolved into making them as well, and it's an exciting journey. We're still learning a lot along the way. But I think having somebody who's that close design with you is quite beneficial because you're kind of on the same page. You can meet a lot. You can really work on it almost all the time, like whenever you need to. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I think our wheel of names is going to come back so we can do our spin, and we'll keep you with us, and then we'll get your information after that. Keep you with us during the spin.
Fantastic. We're ready to go. So who's going to be the first big winner? We're going to find out real soon.
Okay. If you want to help us, Anna, spin it. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Okay.
There it goes. Don't throw your back out.
No, it happens every time. Every time. All right. What does the lowercase d say we've got right now? It's Andy Jewell. Congratulations.
Oh, congrats. Oh, and I didn't say it out loud, but this one is for a Protospiel Online gift card. That spin was. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Joe.
No problem.
And, oops, sorry. Let me turn that off for you. We're fighting. We're fighting over the controls. Sorry, Joe. But Anna, why don't you tell us kind of what's coming up for you and how people can get a hold of you before we say goodbye?
Right, yeah, so we're trying to build more of a social media presence nowadays. We're starting to post the pictures, the illustrations we are getting from our amazing illustrator in France. So best way to get updates for Feast and Folly would be on Instagram. I think we've mentioned that the link's going to be somewhere in the description for the Instagram. So yeah, Instagram would be the main point of contact. For any kind of playtesting, you can contact me directly if you'd like to try the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
What's the handle for
Instagram?
For your Instagram, yeah.
Right, it's Crimson Dot with 2 T's.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been really good to actually, I've not seen you on camera before, so it's been good to face meet you, even though I've just talked to you on Discord before.
It was great to meet you too.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Okay. And yeah, Joachim's very excited. Doesn't want to wait.
And it also sort of underlines how 24/7 Protospiel really is. The fact that whatever time zone that you're in, you will find people who are available and ready to help you out. So just one of the many things. It's just so flexible as an event.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of the schedule. I just have such a hard time
hosting at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a challenge sometimes.
Schedule,
That's all good.
talking, etc. So many things. But it's time for us to talk about your online game show.
Yes.
All night long. So
absolutely.
Do you want me to play the video for it right now, and then you'll talk
Sure.
about
Everybody's
it
been waiting for it. We'll take a look at the spot, and I'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll do some more fun things. Sure.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
All right,
and I
so
think
that-
you same handle on for that spread at the end. Same handle on Bluesky too for you, right?
Absolutely. Table Flips You on Bluesky if you want to find me. And that mess with the thumping bass synth beat that you saw, that's All Night Long. It is a virtual game show experience. You hire it, and I perform it virtually over Zoom. It's about 2 hours long, and I will come and run a bespoke game show for you and your family. We divide you into 2 teams. Just saying hello to somebody saying Bance as a Flip the Table listener in the chat. Hello. Essentially, we divide you into a red and a blue team. You play through 7 different stores. So that was the map you saw earlier in the stream. That's the mall directory. Each store is a different game that you play to build up points for your team. There's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of collaboration. It is gauged to a casual difficulty level, so you do not have to be a quiz or trivia master to play it. And I'm running a little bit of a special, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Normally booking that for 2 hours is $75. You can now book for through the end of May. If you're in the reach of the sound of my voice, $60 will get you a 2-hour virtual party for 2 to 12 or more people if you have more people. I won't be too picky about that. In 2 teams.
Yeah, but so it's so fun to have a community word, right? Where if people say that to you, you know they know what you have worked on, right?
That is a 12-year-old running joke from a podcast that's been off the air for 7 years. That is
So
how deep that one cuts.
Staying power, I guess.
Yeah.
I have definitely heard that word. I don't know if I've ever understood why.
I'll tell the story very, very quickly. So one of the earliest games we reviewed on the Flip the Table podcast was a game called Lingo. It is a DVD board game based on the game show of the same name, where you're trying to figure out 5-letter words. So if you've played Wordle, you've played Lingo. My friend Jared was stuck with B blank NC blank, and you only have a few seconds to write down your answer. So in a panic, he writes down BANCE, Bance. And that became a sort of exclamation that we shouted out for now the last 12 years. So that's where all that comes from.
Awesome.
So.
Oh, cool. So and I guess. Oh, so but he wrote it down. You say it's a DVD game.
Yeah, so you have a sheet with like 5 spaces for each of your 5 guesses, and you only have a couple of seconds per guess. You get more points if you get it sooner. So he just scribble, just got anything that he could think of in, even though it was not an actual word. And we still get screenshots of people playing different word games, trying to put it in, and them saying it's not a legal word.
Right, like
all
not
over our
yet.
social media.
You know what I mean? It needs to be added
Yeah.
to the directory.
Someday they'll recognize it. If you use it enough, then Oxford English Dictionary will eventually catch up.
Exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, and well, but on what you're doing nowadays with the with All Night Long, the game show, I think that is one of my favorite things that I've done as an online party. It's really nice to have somebody there to host it. You're there to kind of facilitate making everybody comfortable, keeping everybody laughing, and kind of you're gauging it to the group. So if somebody starts getting really behind, you'll do something to kind of keep that from being.
Sometimes you can fudge a little bit, which is nice. Like Jackbox games are absolutely amazing, but they are a very strict scoring, right? And plus, you have to be like computer smart enough to be able to stream it to the people that you know across the world. So this kind of takes that off of you a little bit. You find the people and the time and I'll come to you and take care of all the lifting for you. So in addition to the fun games and the hosting and everything like that, it's just less work for you. So I end up doing a lot of like birthday parties and D&D groups if they want a night off of writing anything. Sometimes they'll bring me in for that. And a couple of in-person sessions here and there. It's rare, but I do them now and then. Those are a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Since I have the stand too, I'll very quickly. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my Protospiel experience, because I always try to set aside a few hours to come in as a playtester. And the playtester's badge, especially if you're an alumni, is an amazing value for the money, because you can get a lot of fun out of that. I was only there for a few hours. I got to play a couple of amazing games, but then after that, I had some family stuff come up. I couldn't come back for the rest of the weekend, but I still had the notifications turned on. And I wanted to read out the descriptions of a couple of games I didn't get to play, but still immediately got my attention. And this should tell you the kind of experience you're in for if you join Protospiel. So, for example, Vampire Scheduling Nightmare, a game about scheduling which events to do together week by week, balancing your individual priorities while only being able to invite others to events. So, vampires trying to figure out when to get together to do things. That sounded amazing. Cutting Flowers, a set collection game of sending insulting flower bouquets. That's all I need to be interested in that. I want to send some, but this by far, it broke my heart that I didn't get to play this. Somebody played Monopoly plus Clue because why not? Described as explore a mansion, buy hall space, trade money, maybe solve a murder, balance not guaranteed. Looking for the criminally insane, mystery fans, and broken game enthusiasts as potential playtesters. And if you're in the sound of my voice, Grant, I am all 3 of those things. I will make time if you want to do a one-off. Send me a direct message. I need to play this game. So amazing things that you can experience at Protospiel.
I didn't get to play that one either, but that's the hard thing of the way that we run things, where they're coming in when they're coming in, is you can be in the middle of a play test and see another one come in and be like, oh man, I'm in the middle of something right now. Yeah.
You gotta hope you catch the next train when it comes around. Thankfully, there's a lot of trains running. A great variety of things that you can run into and try.
Yes. What did you said you got to play Shovels and Shanties, and what else?
I played Shovels and Shanties, and I played a tower defense game, and I apologize for not recalling the name immediately, but it was one in which each person had their own castle that they were trying to defend, and it was a hand management card game that was very interesting. And that's the only couple of games that I got into. Tower Heist, yes, that sounds about right. Thank you to the chat for helping me out with that one.
Cool.
And so, and that one was a pretty deep experience. I found myself, I misplayed a couple of cards, but I didn't consider that to be an issue at all, because it was one of those things where you really have to concentrate and think and stay engaged with it. And so it was doing some things that I had not seen in other board games, which I really liked.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I play plenty of published games, but I continue to enjoy playing prototype games, whether I can finish or not. I think because I'm coming at it, anytime I'm playing any game, really, I'm coming at it more for the experience of spending time with people and pulling the levers in the game too. I think I enjoy whatever game I'm playing, being able to pull the levers. So it's really fun to play prototypes because you might never, they may or may not get published. You may or may not be able to experience them any other way. And there's so many interesting things that, like, something being marketable doesn't necessarily mean it's the only kind of interesting experience, I guess.
Right.
So if you don't play prototypes, you might never see these not marketable experiences.
Well, you raise a good point because you can come to Protospiel with a game that you're not necessarily concerned with pitching to a publisher or even selling at all. It's just something that you're trying to express and get out of your head. And there will be people there ready to play and give you good feedback and help you to develop it. So if you're making a game that's art for art's sake, which I suspect Monopoly Plus Clue is,
right.
I will not assume this person's goals, but that sounds like the kind of thing that you do just to see if you can do it. And Protospiel is a good home for any kind of experience that is just sort of a wild swing like that. And that's one thing that I love is there are so many big swings that people take, regardless of whether they think anybody's ever going to buy it or not. It's like, let's just see if this will happen. And I love that.
Yeah, or see if, maybe some small piece of that will become something else or whatever. But yeah, it's a good place to experiment for sure.
Absolutely. And it's a way to get reps in too. Even if you're not ever going to sell that or pitch it, you are doing the work. You are becoming a more experienced designer. You're getting practice, getting feedback. You're getting practice with development. All of that is beneficial. So go for it. If there's something that's kind of nagging at your soul that you need to get onto paper or onto digital prototype, do that thing because it's going to be good for you no matter what.
Yeah, and also pitching it. You're kind of getting practice pitching it.
Exactly.
To players at Protospiel, the way that we run LFG or looking for a game. Exactly. Are you the criminally insane? You may be interested in this. And that got my attention, that's for sure. The
vampire
scheduling nightmare, I have heard from that designer that's Zach Morris, and he's not interested in publishing things. It is the experience of designing and playing with people and playing people's prototypes that he's here for, right? So I know that you're right. I have heard directly from designers that sometimes that's what they want and what they can get out of it.
Absolutely, great reason to come to Protospiel.
Well, yeah, it's always really fun to hear your perspective, Chris, as somebody who is more of a playtester. You have made some games, but you're not actively doing it all the time.
Mostly for the last year or two, I just keep writing the same clues for the same one game that I run for people. So that takes a lot more time than you would think. So I've not had a ton of time to come up with new and fun things. Never say never, right? But it is fun to come and just be a tester and take off the development and creative hat for a second and just experience things and experience those things that people have really invested a lot of love and care into.
Yeah. Awesome. I think, I think we're going to play WoW and then bring on our guest, right?
Not World of Warcraft. Wads of Words, yes.
Sorry.
It would be fun if we just grinded like 3 levels of World of Warcraft in between. Yeah, let's do the thing.
All right. Let me get your... There you go.
All right. So once again, for those who might be joining late, we're going to be putting a word on the screen that's been sorted into alphabetical order. I'll give you a crossword style clue. The first correct answer in the chat will win the prize, which is... Dramatic pause.
It is a secret snail mail gift.
A secret snail mail gift. The best kind of prizes are the ones you don't know what they're going to be.
Something that can ship snail mail or flat pack anywhere in the world. Yeah.
All right. So I think I have my window active. So let's go ahead and do this thing. This is an 8-letter word. The clue is sometimes they have more than 10 toes. Sometimes they have more than 10 toes. take some time to think about that. If you can unscramble that word based on the clue, sometimes they have more than 10 toes, then you could win that secret snail mail present, not even know what's coming in the mail. You just get a surprise in your mailbox. Something light and easy. You will not have to worry about storing something huge. And we have a correct answer in the chat. Wreckers is the correct answer. And J0K3SE, congratulations to you. You are the winner of that secret snail mail prize. Well done.
We had 2 people very close together. You're just a little bit too late, Marbman. Next, we have one more coming, though.
All right. So you want to do another one?
Nope, just that one. And we'll do another one at the end.
God, okay, you were talking to the audience, not to me. Okay.
Oh,
all
okay.
right. All good.
Yes. There will be another one, just not right away.
Yeah, and it may be a harder one. So if you have a fast brain, maybe you can outrun your slow fingers. Who knows? So fun stuff. Always fun to play that one.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for putting those clues together for us. That's a nice little sample of what Mall Night Long is like. That's only one of the 7 games, and a lot of them are more like that's one of the fast ones, right?
Right.
And there's some longer deliberation ones that really are the funniest, I would say, personally.
Yeah, the rounds kind of alternate between those sort of quick puzzle solving games and ones where you talk to your team and come up with a single team answer based on some clues, which are, I'm not going to say misleading, but will sort of cause you to question your own place in this world. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a mixed up pace.
Awesome. I think we're ready for our next guest, if they're ready. I see them. They're ready. Okay. Awesome. I'll bring you on.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I hope it's too noisy. I'm at a board game convention here in Mexico.
Oh, from a board game convention.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Let me give you the stage here. There you go.
There it is. How's everyone?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Busy.
Mm-hmm.
But excited.
What's going on at the convention? I'm curious.
So this is a convention. I think it's their first edition in Cuernavaca, in Mexico. It's like an hour away from the city. And a guy who's doing my prototypes for me invited me. He just gave them to me yesterday also. Here in Mexico, locally produced. And he invited me to this convention to check it out and mingle and get to know people and do some demos.
Can you hold it longer in front of the camera? Because like the camera was moving, so it was a little hard to see it.
Sure. Sorry.
Good.
So
Look at this.
Still has some production defects, but it's just a prototype for now.
Yeah. It's fun to be able to hold it in your hand, I'm sure, right?
It's the best feeling.
And Anna was asking me about games that I had played, and that was the first game that I played this session. And I actually had been looking for it all over January, so I was really happy that it became available right when I was logging on to first play. So you can tell us about it. What's your game?
Sure. So it's called Frango Morango, which means chicken strawberry in Portuguese. It's a game that I developed while I was developing a homeschooling program in Portugal. And hence, we kind of pulled from real life and made the game a little bit themed on that. The game is about, it's a negotiation game with the innovative mechanic where instead of negotiating like in Catan, like give me this and I'll give you that, here you have to use certain kinds of cards that'll tell you and force the other player to make that trade with you. For example, start high will force someone to give you 3 and you give them 1. And then the mechanical aspect of it is that you have all sorts of other cards that let you sort of change the deal that is on the table. A card to ask for more, a card to take resources from your negotiation and not have them on the negotiation table. So the idea with this was to teach communication to kids of all ages, let's say.
Okay.
So that's really interesting because negotiation games tend to fall apart if you have one or more players who aren't as comfortable with negotiating. So it sounds like it's an attempt to rethink that and to bring negotiation to a game in a different way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, at the end of the day, what we try to do is, I guess negotiation isn't always fair. Someone is always in a better position. And this kind of, the deals of the day, which is a card that tells you what you can trade, is putting you in an unfair position to start with. So the idea is, how do you get using your cards towards mutual gain? Which is like, how mechanically in negotiation what options do you have? You can ask for more, you can take some time to think, you can say no to what they're offering. So it's a little bit different than normal negotiation games. I think the goal of it is more towards how do we arrive towards a mutual gain deal when it's could be more intuitive or easily if you were left to your own devices and freedom, but when you're restricted, it forces you to do it mechanically and understand all of the mechanics involved behind it.
My experience of it, as it is now anyway, was unfair trades. Actually, it was cards forcing pretty unfair trades, and that was what was funny and memorable about it. You'd end up putting maybe somebody would come to you like, okay, you're going to give me 3 and I'm going to give you 1 of something that is like, maybe this is a thing. The way it was as I play tested anyway, different types of things were different value to different players.
Yeah.
And that's another like probably pretty key thing about what's going on here is like maybe strawberries are -1 for me, but they're, +2 for Jack, whatever.
Right. So we have different piggies that have different personalities, and each one has like a favorite flavor, and then their tastes change depending on what crop they put in their stomach. So
and like
the idea is
the piggies
that,
are what we're feeding the food to, and the piggy that has like the happiest stomach at the end is your score. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So yeah.
And it would be like, how about by the end it's like, how about you give me 1 and I give you 3, and then they play a card that's just like, how about no? How about I give you, I give you nothing and you give me 3 or something like that. And they don't there's no recourse. It's just, that's how it's gonna be, right? So
basically,
yeah.
If you disagree with something, you have to say it with cards. And if you don't have the cards for it, then it can be very frustrating.
Right, exactly. I remember it being a lot of laughter kind of game for our playtest.
Good. That makes me feel good.
And so I'm interested in kind of the connection of everything. So this is the game's in Portuguese, or it has Portuguese words in it. You're at a convention in Mexico, and I think that you said something, either you or Joaquin said something about having moved to the US and been like, wow, communication is a whole thing, and that was also part of what was inspiring this game. So where are you based out of, or where are you located?
So I'm in Mexico City, and Joaquin is in Portugal. Both of us have lived in the US at some point in our lives. I went to college there, and Joaquin, I think his first daughter was born there. She's now 9, so maybe like 8 or 7 years ago. They lived a couple of years in New York, and that's where they had that experience. But since then, we've moved all over the place, and Joaquin and I moved briefly with them because they pulled their kids out of the education system. They moved to Portugal, to like the middle of nowhere among the pigs and the hay bales and all the things in the game. And so I moved with them to start them off on like a homeschooling program. And I was with them for like 3 months, living in the same house and like teaching the kids from the attic. Very
sounds like an adventure.
It was.
Yeah.
And that's where we started developing more like game-based things for the curriculum, and a lot of them we decided were very cool and wanted to develop them into products that we can actually sell and play with other people.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it sounds like because of homeschool, you have also just games that are just your family's games that you're not necessarily even hoping to release. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Games are a huge part of how we learn. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them that maybe I could develop more, but I just use them as quick solutions. Like, I need a game to teach them this very one-time thing that they're gonna learn, and we just gamify it. And then if there's something more complex, I'll actually integrate that into the mechanics. And then, yeah, it has really cool results.
Yeah, that's awesome. What has been, with the last couple minutes we have here, do you want to talk about your experience with Protospiel or other games and people you've met?
Yeah. So this is our second Protospiel that we do. Me and Joaquin share like an account, I guess. Sometimes he does the playtesting, sometimes I do the playtesting, and in the meantime, we're always playing other people's games, which is amazing because, I mean, not only do you get so much inspiration from other people's games and what they're doing, but the feedback that you get in Protospiel is really something that we haven't seen anywhere else. It's been so valuable, and it has helped us honestly change and make our game better and smoother exponentially more quickly than if we were doing this on our own or just playing with regular people, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, from the last session, from the last Protospiel, we made like, the first day we made like 3 changes. The next day we made like 3 more, you know, and then we tried to keep playing them, and it accelerated, yeah, what we wanted to get to amazingly quickly. And now we feel much more sure about the version that we have now.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, that's something that's, as far as online playtesting goes, and I think that this is the case of with the difference between an in-person Protospiel and a weekly meetup that you'd have in your town or something like that, and online Protospiel versus like a weekly design group you might go to. Especially if you have a game like yours that doesn't take forever to play, right? It takes maybe, you can get a game in like 30 to 40 minutes digitally for your game or something like that, maybe a little bit more, whatever. It's pretty easy to at least play once a day and still be putting in your playtest time, especially if you have a pair like you do, where, you know, you can both help add to playtesting for just your one game. But yeah, you have a chance to test it again right away.
Yeah, definitely. Even make changes.
Or order,
and then test it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And see while it's like right on top of your mind, is that suggestion, you know, that sparked something in me that I felt like I wanted, that was the direction I wanted to go, is that actually going to work? And you can get the answer a lot faster. And I think it can be really rejuvenating for people, or who are designing.
No, and people go beyond, I guess. They go the extra mile. It's not just like, oh, here's my suggestion and that's that, you know? We've been 45 minutes after playtesting, you know, just discussing, even though we only ask for like 5 or 10 minutes to discuss feedback.
Right.
Yeah, people get very into it and give you a lot of very creative advice and very creative solutions.
Yeah, I was with some people giving somebody feedback who was a first-time Protospiel Online attendee, and we talked to this person for probably like an hour, and eventually one person was like, "Okay, what's happening? Like, just so you know, what's happening here is, well, twofold. We wouldn't give you so much feedback if we didn't see potential in this, right?
Right.
And the other thing is, like, it's late at night here in the U.S., and we're enjoying talking to each other, and we don't want to go to bed." So that can happen too.
Fruit. Yeah.
So yeah, we told them there was a shout out about that, and we said, yeah, thank you for, this person is thanking us for putting them in feedback jail for a lifetime sentence. I think that was Tanner Simmons' quote. Yes. But hopefully it's hopefully enjoyable to be able to talk about your game with other people, even if it takes a while. Yeah.
Definitely. Even if it's like rough feedback, it's something that you need to sort of develop, you know, calluses against that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Yeah, even if it's not what you were hoping to hear. Mm-hmm. But it's honestly, like good to know what other people's perspective is. You don't have to take the advice.
The roughest feedback has been the most helpful for us, at least.
Mm-hmm. Because you can't have it yourself. You can't see that from inside the bottle, like when you're close to it and working on it. So yeah, I'm really glad people can get that from this experience.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, let's keep you with us real quick to spin the wheel. We'll bring Joe back.
Hey,
Should I
Joe.
be afraid?
There we go. Oh, it's very easy. We just do this and count to 3.
It's already spinning. We did that. I did that with my mind, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
What do we got? It is Nathan Fullerton. Congratulations, Nathan.
Hey, congrats. I know that guy.
Very good.
And what does Nathan win? Was this one a gift
That
card?
one, oh yes, thanks for reminding me. This is another Protospiel Online gift card. And we're going to do that one more time, actually, Joe. We have the last one of the 4 gift cards to give away. Let's give it away now, too. You can bring it back. There's Staria. Oh, do I hear you? Here, I'll bring it back for you, Joe. Oh, I see. No, Joe's working on something. He's going to reset it and bring it back.
Okay, so we're just going to kill time.
Yep.
Here, I've got my actual shopping list here. I'm just going to start reading it out loud. Saturday, pizza. Sunday, chicken and fries. Monday, shepherd's pie. Tuesday, spaghetti and meatballs. Are we fixed yet? Wednesday, pizza. Thursday, chicken and fries. You did hear pizza and chicken and fries twice in that. I have picky children. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, ready?
All right, let's do it. Let's get another spin.
1, 2, 3. Ah! Okay. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, we'll find out shortly. It stops on Jeff Grisenthwaite. Congratulations.
Congrats, Jeff. Awesome.
I feel like I've said that name before, and it was just as fun then as it is now.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's quite a mouthful. The first name, easy. The last name, quite a mouthful.
No, I love it. Grisenthwaite. I could say that 100 times.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's go back to Tomas and say, tell us how we can keep up with what you're doing, and then we'll say goodbye and go on to the next guest.
Sure, but wait, what did Jeff win? Did you
Oh,
say?
a Protospiel Online gift card.
Ah, okay.
Same thing.
Well, yeah, same thing. All right, well, yeah, you guys can find us in Instagram. You guys can follow most of the stuff that we do at Not Board Games, at NotBoard_games. We do a lot of unconventional marketing there. We have some comics coming up about Frango Morango, a lot of things about communication, weird things that you might find funny. And our website is notboard.games, where you can also get the link to our Kickstarter and everything, so you can follow us and make sure our mailing list is big and bulky, and we can get this show on the road.
A worthy goal. Yes. Well, thank you for joining us. It's great seeing you in person, or face-to-face
You
at
guys.
least.
Yeah.
Enjoy your convention.
Same. Have a good day.
It's a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Was that our first on location? Somebody who's
Yeah.
not like in their home, but like actually out in the community doing stuff and broadcasting from there?
Yeah, and I think that's going to happen again. with
Really?
Maybe everybody else who's coming. I know one of our guests is
Wow.
joining us from a game day that they
Okay.
had to take. I told them you're going to be the famous person's like, sorry, everyone, I have to go take an interview. And I can see into our next guest view that they are out and about. So
Okay.
as long as we didn't lose her. We did for a second, but I think she's coming back.
Maybe we're trying a jump out and jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. 2 regular milk, no almond milk, no lactate, blueberry for school lunches, hummus, oatmeal, Chex, Cheerios. How we doing?
I think we might want to switch order of guests to give our
Okay.
originally
Call an
third
audible
guest.
here.
So let me just communicate that
I'd love
to
to hear
them.
from the chat what's on your grocery list.
we
Let
just
us know what you need from the
Yeah,
store.
we just received.
I'm
our
going
groceries.
anyway, so if it's
But
perishable, I can't ship it to you. No, sorry.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, things are moving along. It's all good.
Yes, we're having each guest having a little bit of tech effort needed.
Love it when they stack high. But you know what? That's the most fun part of live is that you just roll with it.
This is a pretty, I mean, a stream with 4 guests is actually pretty complex as streams go, I think, you know?
Wait, if you're here, who's asking for dodo eggs from the Protospiel Twitch account?
Well,
that's what I wonder.
I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you their name, but their initials are probably Joe Slack. I think. Let me. I don't know if. Yeah. Okay. We're kind of coming. We're getting and losing our 3rd guest and our 4th guest.
Anything could happen. We might have a lot of fun here in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
I'll just like put on my guest mask and just tell you what I think they would say if they were here. Okay. Okay. I see guest 4 filling in for guest 3. I think ready.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
We'll
we did
it
it, kids. Welcome.
There you
We
are.
did it.
Hello.
We're figuring it out. We're doing it live.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am blanking on your last name, Leo.
Oh, Leo Jerez. I guess I didn't put it in.
That's all right.
Yeah, Jerez. Yeah.
But you're a first-time Protospiel online attendee, joining us from your game day, as I was telling them.
Yeah, this is not my room. My buddy John, really cool setup.
Oh.
Got a massage chair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty cool setup.
The games are happening out there. We're in the middle of Lost Ruins of Arnak right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, thank you for making time in the middle of your game day to come and talk to us.
No problem. Also, is it better if I go like this? Is it better?
Yeah, that is better if you can do that. I guess I could ask other people to do that. We can see you better when you go that direction, for sure. So what brought you to, this was your first Protospiel online. What brought you to us?
Well, I actually first tried joining a Protospiel back in 2022 online. It was my first time getting into game design after playing many board games, of course, as most people do. And I think I had just learned about Protospiel like right during the first weekend. This was back in, I think, around the May version in 2022. And so it was mostly over. And I think I paid for a badge anyway, because I thought it was like a really cool concept. I got to chat with a few people. Yeah. And then, through circumstances, I'm back at it again, designing. I haven't really designed ever since then. I mean, I think I tried an idea. It wasn't great. But I'm kind of back at it, and I happened to get back at it right on time for this one. And I did it. I found out about it just in time for it to be like the weekend before, and I actually got to participate this time, and it was a lot of fun.
We've got to get you on the email list, Leo.
Yeah.
Or at least make the emails more visible to you. That's a tough thing about email. It's like, or all the ways to get a hold of people, like social media is iffy. What you're going to end up seeing when you look, and email is more direct, but everybody uses it, and so it gets so overwhelming for everybody. It's hard to make sure we all keep in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have people just go knock on doors. That'll be more efficient.
Maybe so.
That would work.
I'd love to hear about your game.
Say again, sorry.
What did you say, Chris? Say one more time.
I'd love to hear about your game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I brought one main idea that I've been working on that I'm currently calling Deep Space Race. It's very early on. It is a deck building and exploration game. So the whole concept is, deck building and buying new cards and playing cards. And playing those cards move your ship on a board of hexes. And the main hook is that you have to, if you want to shuffle your discard back into your deck, as you often want to do with deck builders, you have to start your whole exploration run over again back at sort of the
interesting
base. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I remember. I can't remember who was talking to me about it, but I think I talked to somebody that played that game with you.
It's an interesting concept. I mean, it's inspired from something I saw on a game called Relic Hunters from Korea Board Game, where it's a similar concept, but I thought I would take it into more of a space sort of 360 exploration in any direction type of mechanic. And since then, I've also added a little bit more of like a research tree, kind of similar to Lost Ruins of Arnak, where you have like a separate research tree that you're using as you explore the Hextiles, getting some sort of exploration bonus.
I don't know if you'd agree, but based on that description, it almost sounds a bit roguelike in that you kind of have to get as far as you can on that first run and then try to do better the next time and the next time and the next time. Would that sound apt description?
There's some of that for sure. Some of the feedback I've gotten is interesting because it's like you go into it thinking of as a deck builder, like purely, and they want to do more stuff in a run. But there's sort of that roguelike aspect where you kind of have to go back, and your next runs will be better. Like I promise, you get to actually buy cards once you go back. You know, so yeah, it's a little bit unintuitive in that way. Yeah,
but still something very different from a lot of deck builders. And I have too many deck builders in my collection, and I'm always looking for more. So I'm glad to hear about it.
I'm picturing that you're saying like shuffling your deck means going back to home base, right? It's not like you need to have something available that gets you back to home base. You just
you can. That means you can go back to home base at any time. Basically, at the end of every turn, while you're on your run, you can decide to either stay out on the run and draw 5 more cards or whatever, up to 5 more cards, or sort of teleport back to base. You kind of use your reserve energy to get back to home base, where you get to buy cards and then shuffle your whole discard into your deck. Yeah.
Okay, so you can actually just say like, I've just bought a really good card. I just want to shuffle my deck again, so I'll get it sooner. You have that choice.
Yeah, well, if you see it on the board, like you don't get to buy until you decide to go back. So once you go back, you can choose to buy. If there's a card up on the market you really want, you can kind of end your run, go back, buy it, and then immediately shuffle it into your deck. So you may draw back.
So an interesting decision there too, because you can't acquire new cards unless you stop and start again.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want something to leave the market that you might really need. So this sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it's proven to be quite interesting mix of things. It's still very early on, so I'm still trying to really find like the pacing that really works and stuff. But I'm really excited about it. I think it's very promising.
Very good. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming and testing it with us and talking to us about it here.
I had a great time.
I off the top of my head, cannot remember what part of the country are you coming to us from?
Oh, I am on the East Coast, North Carolina.
Okay.
Beautiful North Carolina.
Yeah, there's a very active game design community around where you live. I don't know if you're aware of them, but
I would love to go to more in-person stuff. I mean, Protospiel Online was fantastic. I loved the weekend, but like I've heard about the in-person events, and as someone who's still new to designing more or less and relatively new to the hobby, as really like playing a lot of games, I've never gone to a big convention, and I'm not done in-person testing. Yeah, so but the one that's really active here in North Carolina is kind of more in the bigger cities. It's still like an hour and a half-ish away from me, or 2 hours. It's not, it's a fair drive, but haven't made the effort to do it yet, but I want to.
Can heavily relate to that. I am the same as you. I don't live in the big city in my state. And it really is a time commitment to, even if it's just an hour, really. Yeah. That's part of why I'm glad Protospiel Online and things like it exist, is that we can find a way to mix together from all these, especially like more rural places too, like maybe not even international, but just I don't live very close to an airport or a big city, and that's very time consuming to do that travel, and expensive too, to travel to in-person conventions where larger groups of people gather too.
Yeah, flying out of Maine, not cheap. So, and yet when it's an hour or two drive, it's almost better to go to the further one, because then you're staying in a hotel and you have a reason to be there longer. You're not commuting every day. But I absolutely agree. It's a great way in Protospiel for people to get access to other brains to look at the game and to get that feedback that you need.
What else did you play, Leo, when you were at the event?
Oh yeah. I think the one that really stands out was adulting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game about adulting and having responsibilities and like achieving kind of like superlatives. It was also sort of a deck building game, so kind of on my mind.
Take my money right now.
Yeah, I forget the designer's name, but
was it Eric Ditmore? I feel like a little unsure about saying that, but that sounds right to me.
That sounds right. I know Joe played with me. Joe Slack was in the play group with me because back in 2022, I actually joined Joe's course. So I was working with Joe. It was cool testing with him.
Very good. Yeah, and I know the story behind adulting is that they made it. 2 siblings made it for their sister who was getting married as a wedding gift, and it was like it was like a year late wedding gift, but they got it done enough to give to her.
That's right. I remember that backstory. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a very sweet story. We were kind of having a lot of stories about families doing things together this stream. Bringing that up, that's a nice way to family together. Oh. And it looks like okay. Daria says, "You thanks for being interested in Fly for Pi. Sorry, I was ill with COVID and too tired basically to test it out with you."
Yes, there was some that I was interested with, but I didn't get to play for sure. And that was really my goal. Like I have a 4-year-old, and he, is great. I love him, but toddlers are very time consuming. And again, I wasn't on the right newsletter. That's totally my fault. But I didn't hear about Protospiel until like the weekend right before it was happening, and it just so happened my wife was heading out for a long weekend, the weekend of the Protospiel Online event. So I was like solo dad duties trying to test game. I definitely tested more games than I did my own, which was my goal. But there was some on my list I didn't get to, so I can't wait to check those out.
Awesome.
Some other time.
Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at our schedule. And okay, yeah. Oh, right. I'm confused by my schedule because your name is in a different place.
Yeah, I should have been now. Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna do Wads of Words before we say goodbye to you for a T-shirt for any live viewer, which includes you. If you would like to play along, please don't hesitate to be in the chat. And let me show Chris's puzzle here.
All right. So one more time, and Leo, answer in the chat, please, not by voice, and we'll make sure that it's nice and fair. Just a reminder, one last reminder how this works. I'm going to read a crossword-style clue. I'm going to show you a scrambled word. You tell me what the word is in the chat, and you win an amazing T-shirt. And I love my pink Protospiel shirt. I have to mention this every time because I absolutely love this shirt and would like more of them. So I should answer it and just win. Okay, chat, get ready. This is an 8-letter word. The clue is they can pinch, swipe, and lift. They can pinch, swipe, and lift. If you think you know the word, type it into the chat and you can win an amazing T-shirt. They can pinch, swipe, and lift. Give folks a couple of seconds to think. And now we're going to give you the first letter of the word. It starts with a B. They can pinch, swipe, and lift. And burglars is correct. Congratulations, Grand CB. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes, that's Daria.
Daria, congratulations.
I could see Leo knowing the answer and not typing it.
I got it.
Decided to just, well,
I'm on a strange computer in front of me. I didn't want to try to log in, but I had it in my head.
Yeah, don't type the word burglars into a strange computer or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't want
to. Yes, very true. Well, before we say goodbye to you, Leo, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, well, you can find me at my friend John's house. But other than that, I am on Discord as Logical Insanity. It's spelled exactly how it sounds, no spaces. And hopefully you'll be hearing more from me in Deep Space Race. in the future.
Yeah, I look forward to getting a chance to trying it. I'll keep an eye out for you, Leo.
All right.
But have fun with your game day. We'll see you around.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Okay. Time for our next guest, who I think is here. I think can hear us.
All
Maybe
right,
they
knock
can
on
give
wood.
us a thumbs up. Maybe not. I'm gonna.
Okay, we think it's fixed.
Okay, there's basically what's going on is internet outage at person's home. Trying to use
you don't
phone
like
in the meantime, but I think they said they fixed it, so I think they're gonna sit down like at their actual computer, and so they've disappeared for a minute.
Okay.
But let's see what happens.
We could do a spin if we wanted to kill some time.
Oh, that's true. That's a good
Yeah?
idea. Yeah. Why don't we, since we're waiting for them, let's talk about this a little bit. Not with them, with us. So actually, I'm going to bring, or if you're cool with it, Joe, I'm going to bring you on and talk to us about this a little bit too, okay? Okay, cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so I did a stream with Jay Bell to show you more details, but these are 3 of the, they have a couple more toolkits too that you could purchase on Panda Game Manufacturing website, but the ones that they donated in this bundle is like the game design toolkit, which is really special for designers. It has like a place to, even the box is part of what you're getting as a prize, a place to put your name and working title. And then these 2, this one has like basic cards and parts and some stickers. So it's sort of like, here's a bunch of pieces that you probably could actually use them to make a whole game, and you're kind of being challenged to think of what you could make with it. And then these 2 are kind of part 1 and 2 of this kit of really highly designed, cool, like Panda pieces and their whole world that is highlighting all the different kinds of parts that Panda can make. So there's a ranger in the wood box that lives in the woodlands, very cute. And then this party of 4 D&D like Panda characters that are all cut meeples that are screen printed. I mean, it's just, even if you weren't a designer, it's like a toy. There's so many like very toyetic things in here. And we have a whole stream that I did with Jay that I'll try to grab a link to it and mention it here in the chat shortly, but that you can see all the details of the stuff that's inside. So they gave 2 of these bundles for the May event. So we're going to spin the wheel, and they can ship them anywhere in the world. So all of our international attendees can be part of that. So let's go ahead and let's just take care of both of the spins while we're waiting for our last guest here, and find out who won these 2.
All right,
Okay.
one-handed. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
There we go.
There we go.
It's spinning. It's spinning.
Spinning like crazy. Look at the RPMs on that thing. We've got...
Oh, is it?
Derwent ready.
Derwent.
Congratulations. There, we've now got the names down so I can kind of read them when
Yeah.
comes up.
Yep.
Congratulations, Derwent.
And what's really funny is Derwent tends to play. I know I was building the wheel for Joe to use, and Derwent tends to play our metagames and have like a ton. Like commonly, he's got a ton of his name on the wheel, and it's like the least he's ever had his name on the wheel. He's still won.
It's just his lucky day.
Yeah, totally. All right, one more time.
One more
Okay,
time. Here we
is
go.
this the last spin for today?
Yeah, this is the last spin
This
for
is.
today.
He gets to close it after
Let's
this.
do it. Let's make it a big one.
1, 2.
Oh, sorry, it's
3.
already go.
You know, special effects, that's not what people are here for. So
That's
it's
right.
okay.
Who is it? Let's make the green.
Brent.
Brent Van Nostrand, inventor of Monopoly plus Clue. Congratulations.
We've been talking about you a lot
I
this time,
know.
Grant. Good job. Okay, awesome. So I'll be passing all those names on to the people at Panda, and they'll be sending you out your gifts. Oh, and yeah. So we do have. I know Derwent is one of our international members, so I'm excited that we get to cover both the continents. Okay, so we've got everything all settled by switching
right,
out
we
the
did it.
spots with our last guest. Awesome. So
All right,
we'll say
I'm going to
goodbye
step
to
out
Joe.
and to let the guests join us. So have fun.
We'll see you.
Good to see you, Joe.
Awesome.
Oh,
Got you. And you can see us and everything.
Yes. I can hear you, and yes, but my cable went out this morning, and I called
I
them,
hate when that happens.
and they just finally came. So I'm here. Yay! Yes, I can hear you. I have
saying
to point
goodbye
out.
to in the chat.
Oh, I have to point out that Joe had his drum kit behind him, and when I was managing Copy Talk, someone else said, "Hey, Joe, I bought a drum set so I could match you."
Oh, his name is also Joe, the person who was saying that, right?
Oh, I don't remember, but he's like, I paid $50 for it.
That's a good deal.
I know. And I'm like, I feel left out. I don't have a drum kit.
Yeah.
This person does know they can just like take a screenshot of Joe's background and just like sit in front of it, right?
Well, I don't know. You couldn't play it though. I mean, what if Joe said, "Prove it, play it"?
Yeah, you get a drum kit out of the deal, so I think that's worth it.
It's true. Well, yeah, Nicole is somebody who comes to us from In-Person Protospiel Network, helps organize the one in Minnesota. Yeah, right? I'm saying that right?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Sometimes
if you really want to.
Sometimes I say Michigan when I mean Minnesota or vice versa, so I always have to be like really careful.
I was born in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But and is one of our moderators for Protospiel Online, also like Joe is. So you have all kinds of different angles to talk about the whole experience from. But yeah, why don't you first tell us about a game that you brought this time, and we'll start there.
I brought something called Cupcake Craving, and I brought it because it was a challenge I made for myself to use these little. I don't know if you guys can see them very well, but they're these tiny little cupcakes. Then I was challenged by Troy Pichelman, as I say his last name, at the Madison Protospiel, to get some cute little things and make a game out of it, which I've never done before. I've never tried to do something like that. So it's a cute little two-person game where you have to collect flour and sugar and milk and avoid the cupcake monsters. And take it all to the bakery and make cupcakes.
Mint tin size is your plan for it, right? And we see. Oh yeah, there you go. Very good. We see almost all of the Creatopia name off the side of you. So that's the way you're planning to. That's your plan for releasing that game, right?
Yes, it will be released through Creatopia just as soon as I finish writing up the rules. I got some important feedback. I mean, it's a really simple game. It's meant to be just a fun family game that you can literally carry around, play when you're waiting for dinner, on a plane, a train. Probably not when you're driving. I mean, if you're the driver.
Probably not. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but
maybe in the backseat if someone else is driving you around, maybe. But
yes, but
riding around on the dashboard, like
you get in an accident. But sir, I was like, I had to avoid the cake monster.
Yeah, certainly going to get away with that, right?
Sure. I mean, if the officer likes cupcakes, I might.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are pretty cute. What's not to like? When you see, and I don't think the full cuteness comes through online, but I know when I've shown them to people in person.
Oh, we lost her.
Okay.
Well, that was
this
abrupt.
is where we stretch. Maybe we'll get her back. Hold on.
Yeah, we need your. Oh, I never pull these out. I have some sort of silly things here that I made for another online event, and I never really use them for my own.
Let's see.
Yeah. We can have big time emoji, right?
Or you could do emoji puzzles, but with real cardboard emojis. There we go. I feel like in some modern video conferencing software, it just puts that emoji up if it sees anything that looks like it. It's kind of weird. Like if you do a thumbs up, then it just puts a thumbs up, even though there's a thumb in the picture. So, here we go. We did it.
We
Welcome
decided
back.
to goof around a little while we were missing you.
Oh, sorry. It's like. Anyway, I'm sorry.
This is far from the worst technical snafu we've had. It's all good.
What's funny about this is that like Nicole has a fancier setup than the average guest, right? You do this yourself, right, for your own business.
Yeah,
but it's just like the worst day ever for you. So.
Well, because it's the internet, which I can't control. Well, we had a power outage like a week ago in just our little like I swear to God, city block of where I live, and and I don't know if like something happened to the cable when the power happened. I don't.
Yeah, and then they had to come back and like shore it up, right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. What were you saying? You were talking about the adorable cupcakes.
They're adorable little cupcakes, and it was a fun challenge for me as a designer. And I would encourage other people to do it. Is like get something else that I probably wouldn't sell, but it's fun for a personal thing. Is I got these little tiny bottles. They're like wine and stuff. And but the idea was just. The challenge was get something that's like fun and cute and make a game out of it. Just challenge yourself. You don't have to sell it. Like this ended up being something I could sell, but just play with it.
I mean, that sounds like a great way to sort of break your mind out of some of those more common themes that people think of. It's like, how do you make something that's not combat or zombies or fantasy or sort of the things that people think of when they think of games? It's a great exercise, I think.
I'm also one who tends to make complicated games, so it forced me to make it less complicated. Here's another one that I haven't done yet. It's like little, I don't know if you can see it, little sauces and spices. This says it's green tea jam.
Is it weird that I thought it was NyQuil?
Make a game with NyQuil? Well, I mean...
Vaseline. Mint Vaseline.
If you're a parent, I mean, this is Nutella. It's like I'm going to call it like a sauce and spice game, or I don't know. Yes, just go out on like Temu or Amazon and just order some stuff. I would challenge everyone listening to try that because it does get your brain out of the rut of the usual thing.
Yeah. Do you want to talk just real briefly about Creatopia? You said you're gonna sell it through Creatopia. Just kind of tell everybody what it is at a high level.
Sure. I started Creatopia with a partner during the pandemic when it felt like there was no joy in the world. And the idea is to bring back everyday creativity and joyful creativity. So it's a place just as a creative to go to get inspired. We have supplies and we have finished stuff. And there's a private community. It's not on Facebook because I'm not a fan of Facebook. And you can go in there and get inspired community support. On the back end, we're also looking at working with creatives that we would call emerging professionals to get their work out into the world. That could be a game. We're working with some authors right now. We have some artists we're potentially working with. So it's both sides. It's the come and get stuff for yourself. We have a membership so you can save even more money. Or, and I guess not more, you can look at our emerging creative program, which I don't have a landing page for yet. We do have a creativity block quiz. So if you're feeling creatively blocked, and I think you guys have that link, you can go take the quiz and it'll give you 3 ways to, based on your specific block. There's 5 really common blocks. And based on the block you're having, we give you some very practical suggestions you can use.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I don't think I have the link handy, but it was in our swag bag. If anybody was a attendee, you should be able to find it there. And you did I think you did just one poll, like during the event that anybody in our Discord would have seen it in Coffee Talk. Yeah, or could have seen it in Coffee Talk.
One thing I'm a big believer in is finding new ways to make business work for people, especially creatives, because most creatives don't like day-to-day business stuff. And I am someone who is both left and right brain. I love being creative and making games like a cupcake game. And I also actually love doing business. Like I love figuring things out for business. So I'm trying to get a better sense of people who are game designers. What are they looking for in help to get their game published? You know, is my company something that could help them? Is, you know, or resources I could connect them to. So some questions about what are some things you face as a designer? What do you wish you had?
Mm-hmm. Here, I'll put your link in the chat, or just the overall website is what I do have handy for people to go check it out. But yeah, I've been a member of your community for a while, and your partner Monette and you together, I think, make a really good team for encouraging whatever creativity means for you. If you're in the community, it can just mean I want to share creativity with other people in the community, and that's maybe like Creative Champions, what it's about. You know, it's a chance to talk to other creatives and be able to. It includes credits in your store, so be able to get the stuff that you've put in your store, as well as being in community together with other creatives, all in one package deal. But I think when you're a creative, that's a big thing. Like whether you're selling or not selling, I think it's good to have other creative people to talk to and be in community with. So I've really appreciated being in it personally.
Yay, thank you. I would say that sometimes too, you see people go, oh, well, I'm not that creative, or you get a lot of doubt or perfectionism, which is some of the blocks. There was some of the creative blocks. Perfectionism is one. It has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. Another one is doubt. Like, am I really like legitimately the person who should be doing this? Another one is stress. Like people say to be creative to get rid of stress, but yet if you're so stressed out, trying to be creative just becomes another source of stress. Like, oh my God, I have to go be creative, right? That's really not helping in the end.
Yeah, especially if you're mixing that with perfectionism as like, it's got to be something worthwhile that I create, right?
Exactly. And I was in the community building the game, and I was actually on their podcast, and we were talking about, with Jason, and we were talking about sometimes it's okay for it to be a hobby. You know, in today's world of side hustles and, you know, just trying to, you know, make ends meet, it's okay if what you like to do is a creative, fun thing that doesn't make you money. That's okay.
It's a great episode, by the way. For those who are not yet building the game listeners, you should tune into that one specifically.
Yeah, that's been one of my more favorite ones lately too. Because it's kind of fun. Like the two, you and Jason both have a lot of experience in different worlds. And so listening to you compare notes about like the opinions you formed from those different worlds is really interesting to listen to.
I really appreciated that Jason and I also we didn't agree on everything, and that was okay. It was a discussion. I learned some things from his point of view. I hope he learned some things from my point of view. And there is no one right answer in the world. You know, it's I think as long as we're all coming to this, trying to make games, for example, game design and game publishing better for everyone. Like I'm a big believer in everyone should win. The designer should win, the artist should win, the publisher should win. And of course, the players. Everyone should come out ahead. And that is possible. I firmly believe it.
Yeah. I appreciate what you're doing and fighting through figuring it out. Like maybe finding a new answer. There's a reason it hasn't been done a new way yet. You know, it's not easy to figure it out. So I appreciate you pioneering that and being willing to try at least.
You won't know until you try. And if you stop trying is when you fail, but you don't fail if you haven't stopped trying. That was a terribly roundabout quote.
It's all good.
It's not failure until you you're not willing to try anymore, right? It's just the
Yes.
answer to a test,
Yes.
or the answer to a hypothesis otherwise. Absolutely. Well, while you were getting set up, we already spin the wheel, so we don't have to take a break to do that. We might bring Joe on to say goodbye with us. I think we can just say goodbye from all four
There
of
we
us.
go.
Joe, and what does Joe have in his background?
Drums.
I was saying they had to copy you and get a drum set. Remember?
I think they already wanted to get a drum set.
Joseph play us out. That's what I think.
I felt left out. Like I didn't have a drum set in my office.
Well, now you're on the you're Chris and I have games. You're missing the games. You have a like studio background that we're missing out on, so we can all envy one another. But thank you all for joining us in the chat. Thanks again to Panda for the donation and prize that we gave away for attendees. And and thanks you live viewers for joining us for a game in the chat, and we'll get your gifts out to you soon. The next Protospiel Online will be in August 23rd through 25th, and badges for that should open on sale in the middle of June, aiming for June 14th on that. So keep an eye out on your email and in our Discord. We'll definitely be announcing all that, and be back with you on Twitch around then. But yeah, thanks everybody. See you next time.
Thank you. Glad I could
Goodbye,
finally
goodbye,
meet
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.